But now I'd like to tell you about Father Michael Bunny at St. Julie Church in Newbury Park, California. St. Julie Billiart Church in Newbury Park, which is just up the Conejo grade from Camarillo, is a church named after the founder, or the foundress of the Sisters of Notre Dame, Saint Julie Billiart. And St. Julie Church is a beautiful church, and that's where my youngest son was confirmed. At St. Julie Church, there is a very, Ron, you're going to have to forgive this expression. At St. Julie Church, there's a very aggressive deacon. He's a great guy, but he's strong, you know? I mean, he's a former police chief, retired police chief, with a strong will and a strong commitment to social justice. And Deacon Dave said that St. Julie's ought to have a global outreach. There's an evangelical church in Newbury Park that had an outreach to Africa. And Deacon Dave said, we should at least be doing what the evangelicals are doing. So, Father Mike Bunny said, let me take it to the Pastoral Council. And he brought this question to the Pastoral Council and he said, do you think we ought to form some kind of parish outreach to Africa? And the council said, what'll it cost? A very important question. Nobody knew. So Father Mike said, well, let's form a committee to look into this, and we'll make Deacon Dave the chairman of the committee. Well, that's revenge for you right there, you know, making the chairperson of the committee. But I joined this committee. I was interested in it. And so we started meeting. This was a few years ago. And we did lots of interesting things. One of the things we looked at in terms of forming an outreach in Africa was to sign up with an organization called Heifer International. Have you ever heard of this? Yes. I see, Tony, you nodding your head. Yes. Heifer International. It's a group that you donate money and they deliver livestock to people so that people can begin a farm. Huh? So that was one good idea. And then at the time, Cardinal Mahoney, the Archbishop of Los Angeles, had offered a scholarship to a young man from the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Albert Shuyaka. So Deacon Dave invited Albert to come and talk about parish life in the Congo. So Albert came and gave a presentation, and we thought, well, maybe we should sponsor a parish in the Congo. So that was another thought. And then somebody said, well, the Notre Dame Sisters, they have a school in Uganda named after their foundress, St. Julie. It's St. Julie Elementary School in a place called Busesa. So we had three possibilities, you know, Heifer International, sponsorship of a parish, and St. Julie School in Busesa. Well, as I say, Deacon Dave, this guy was a go-getter, and because he was a retired police chief, he's got more money than most of us. So he organized a trip to Uganda to meet with the Sisters of Notre Dame, and he was really impressed with it. So he came back to Father Mike Bunny and he said, you know, we could support this parish in the Congo, but they speak French there, and most of us don't speak French, so maybe that's not a good idea. And we could go with Heifer International, but you know, it's a different group. It's not a Catholic group. So that didn't look like a good idea. But maybe this sponsorship of St. Julie School in Busesa is right for us. So Father Mike said, thanks for that advice. What'll it cost? And Dave said, it'll cost $50,000 to build a new dormitory, because it's a residential school. And Father Mike said, well, all right, here's what we'll do. Once a year, we'll have a collection. We'll dedicate a collection at every Mass to St. Julie's, because there's a connection between St. Julie Billiart, the namesake of our parish, and St. Julie Elementary School in Uganda. So I think we're about $30,000 on the way to that $50,000 contribution. Not bad, huh? Not bad.